All right, moving on to step 2 of lesson 3. After completing step 1, which is the value worksheet, now you have learned that you can create value using multiple different types of techniques. We've practiced creating value with paint, learning about tints and shades, and in completing the remainder of the worksheet, there are multiple techniques you can use to create value using pencil. In this project, your value geometric cubism project, we are only going to be using the shading technique for this project. So please reference the Google slide as you will learn about Pablo Picasso and the Cubism movement, more about value and monochromatic. The term monochromatic means you are using only the tints and shades of one color. So for this project, you are going to be using colored pencil, but you are only selecting one color for the entire project. And then you are going to be incorporating value in each section of the shapes that you create today. That gradual transition from dark to light using the shading technique. So please follow along. Also in the Google slide is the step-by-step instructions on how to first create your lines and shapes using pencil, and then watch this video as I demonstrate how to also start to fill in each shape using colored pencil and creating a sense of value from dark to light. All right, enjoy this project. I hope you enjoy practicing creating value with shading, and I can't wait to see your finished works. After completing the value worksheet, you are beginning your actual artwork, the value cubism project. So you are taking your 12 by 12 white piece of drawing paper. If you don't have 12 by 12, you can use a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of sketchbook paper. You will need a pencil, an eraser, a ruler, and some circle tracers. Please check out the Google slide for step-by-step instructions on how many different lines and circles you should make. You can see here that I am beginning with 2 horizontal lines. Basically what we're doing is you're trying to create an interesting composition and thinking about balance of your shapes. And you definitely want your shapes to overlap and intersect. Now I'm adding a few circles. Notice that some of my circles are going off the edge of my paper. And again, I'm thinking about balance as I am incorporating my different circles and lines. As you create your lines and circles using a ruler and circle tracers, you want to draw very, very lightly. We should not be able to see your pencil lines once this artwork is completed. So these lines are really, really lightly. You're just sort of sketching them in. You will also be erasing some of them after you finish putting in your lines. You're going to assess your overall composition, and you are going to be erasing and taking out some of those lines. So that's why it is also important to make sure that when drawing your shapes and lines that you're pressing very, very lightly. Once you've filled your paper with different lines and circles and shapes, now you are assessing. And I am looking for really small shapes, like little corners. And then you're going to start to erase some of those lines that create a really small shape. Because in each one of these shapes, you are creating a gradual transition from light to dark, and we're incorporating value with shading. And you need at least 3 values. So if you have some really small shapes where lines intersect and just it's like a sliver, like right there, I'm going to erase that and take that out because you're not going to be able to incorporate value inside that. So you're going to erase some of those lines that create a small shape. Also look at this one, it's really awkward shape. So that's where you're going to want to add then maybe a small line and break that in half. You want your shapes to be, I don't know, anywhere from an inch to a couple inches big in general. You don't want any huge, enormous shapes, and you don't want those little sliver small shapes either. The big, really big, awkward shapes that sort of curve and maybe turn into an L, those are going to be hard to create value in, as well as the really small slivers. So you're sort of assessing your overall work, taking out some of those awkward shapes, breaking them in half by adding a line, and then any shape that's just a small sliver, you're going to erase lines to make it a larger shape. Hopefully this makes sense. Anytime you're not sure, please feel free to just snap a picture of your project, and you can email it to me, or you can upload it into Google Classroom, and I can check it, and I can help you determine if you have any small or awkward shapes before you begin adding value. Once you are happy with your overall composition, you have a nice balance of various shapes throughout your artwork, you are ready for step 3. So please check out the next video on how to add value with shading.